Thank you for watching. In today's video, we're going to get right into it. Axie Infinity and the Ronin network had a security breach of around 600 million in value was stolen. The second largest security breach in the Web3 space. As always, nothing I say is financial advice. This video will clearly show why. I've always stated I'm a guy, stoned to the bone, in my basement, making really bad financial decisions. Let's get right into the security breach, what happened, how it might be fixed, and our thoughts on the whole situation. I want to be very clear, I've been a strong advocate for months now that we need to decentralize validators, governance, and control of the treasury. First off, what happened? The Ronin network put out a post yesterday, and we will link to that in the description below where you can read. But someone was able to gain control of the majority of validators on the Ronin network, and was able to drain all the ETH and USDC from the Ronin bridge. Since they had full control of the Ronin network, they removed 173,600 Ethereum and 25.5 million USDC. The total value of the exploit at the time was just shy of 600 million US dollars in assets. The thief is being tracked, and there have been several transactions sent to centralized exchanges. We are waiting to hear more information, as this is breaking news, as to whether that can actually track to a person or not. The worst and most negligent part is that it took 6 days to notice they had been breached, and it was found by a community member investigating a 5,000 ETH withdrawal from the Ronin network that failed on the Ronin bridge. Shout out to Odin and MaxBrand99 for doing a deep dive. I will link to Max's tweet here on his breakdown to what happened. I'm often fortunate enough to watch Max Brand work on things in real time, mostly teaching me how to not be a boomer on my computer or saving efficient time with working with our Lucid guild. Odin is often in the background just laughing at me, but this one will be one for the memories. I remember as they worked in real time to figure out this puzzle of why this 5,000 ETH transaction didn't go through, and none of us knew at the time how big it was. So how could this happen? Of course, we're going to link Max's thread here, but I'm going to break down my version. The Ronin chain is a centralized blockchain. There's only 9 validator nodes on the chain, and 5 of those nodes are held by Sky Mavis. That's right. More than 50% of the blockchain is controlled by one central fail point, and that's exactly what happened. We see Psycheout's post here. Psycheout stated on Twitter this morning, it was a social engineering attack combined with human error from December 2021. He goes on to say the tech is solid and will be adding several new validator nodes to the Ronin network shortly to further the decentralization of the network. First, I've been saying this for months now. At times, I've been yelling about it. How does my guild get a node? How do we help decentralize the network? Why can we not benefit by being a good actor running a node and profiting off of Ronin transactions like others? Why are we gatekeeping that, and what are the qualifications to show you're a good actor to get a node? I've also been asking for governance and voting rights. Not after some unreachable goal, but soon, TM. There's endless ways to start including the community in governance decisions. I think this clearly shows going forward we can stop evangelizing people as gods above mortals and put some real controls and community involvement in place. Now, back to what happened. Someone was able to social engineer control of 5 Sky Mavis validator nodes and control the entire Ronin network. If there was one person in Sky Mavis getting compromised for this type of control, we never had the proper operational security to begin with. This is literally giving up the launch codes and what decentralization is for. Once that person had control of the 5 nodes, they were able to directly drain the smart contract on the main chain ETH to release all the funds. All the Ethereum and USDC it was holding for the Ronin side chain is gone. All the wrapped Ethereum and USDC on the Ronin network now has no actual ETH or USDC to back it on the main chain, and we have a deficit of over $600 million at this time. This is negligence at the least. The funds were not even noticed stolen by Sky Mavis, and it took 4 or 5 days to bring it to their attention. This clearly shows the proper OPSEC was not in place, and there is fault on leadership in how something like this could even arise. I hope government and professional cybersecurity third-party companies are brought in to do a full investigation here. This leaves the Sky Mavis team in a very tight situation. They raised $153 million in October-ish of last year at a $3 billion valuation. They need 4x that amount of money that they raised just to plug the hole that was stolen, and then they need funds to continue operating their business. I don't think negotiating table looks the same as it did in October. At that time, Axie public sentiment was very high. They were the only game out. People were earning in game. The marketplace was moving, and the treasury was growing at a $3 million to $6 million a day pace. Today, the golden goose that was the Ronin network, a place that was to attract game developers and builders, is now fully tarnished with poor security and the second largest hack of all time. Kathleen's job just got infinitely harder, and I wonder what the water cooler talk was like at Jump Street yesterday. I'm sorry to say it, but these are the thoughts that run through my mind. We have now hired these people on that have come from very respectable jobs, and when something like this happens, not only does it hurt their mindset going forward and is very tough on them as employees, but where they came from, there's a lot of communication in the Web 2 world of maybe that was a bad decision, and it tarnishes our whole marketplace and Web 3 gaming. The daily active users is down massively from the peak. Scholars are quitting left and right, and community sentiment has shifted from the peak, waiting on a new game, land, and governance. There are other games in development, and the space is heating up. These things are just completely different than that negotiating table, and we lost $600 million. I would imagine anybody who invested in Sky Mavis going forward is in a different place of negotiating here and has a lot more leverage. What do the contracts of Sky Mavis with investors say? How does A16 react in situations like this? I certainly don't think if they're able to raise $600 million to plug the hole that the current team remains in control after this. I don't have any ill will towards anyone. Sometimes those that are good at getting in the trenches, getting dirty, building startups, the scrappy people you really want to get out there and build in the beginning are not the best leaders when things get much larger. And this was a large misstep by some core team member. I don't even know who or what, as the responsibility falls on them at the end of the day. I can't see a world where anyone puts up $600 million plus more to keep Sky Mavis afloat, plug the hole, and not want almost full control going forward. I'm not going to be surprised if we see some resignations, control changes, and large investors getting more control of Sky Mavis if it's to recover from this. I'm also fully against the community bailing them out of this and everyday people taking on the burden and risk the core team has now caused. We asked for this in the past. I wanted to invest in Sky Mavis. I wanted equity, but I don't want you to go and dump your burden now of a $600 million hack and the tarnish on Ronin Network, which is the golden goose, to now give that deal to the public. Those same key investors that stepped up that you needed to build Sky Mavis need to step up and have that same level of conviction that we as community members have, and they need to fix this because they were given that opportunity, and Sky Mavis employees need to fix this. This burden does not need to fall on the community members of guild owners who don't know how they're already going to continue forward, and scholars and small builders in this ecosystem that are already having a hard time paying. I do not think it is fair to place that burden or spin up the narrative of the community can help us out of this hole. I think that's an awful route to choice. I really feel for those that were all in on Axie. I've stated very public, I don't like the WAGMI evangelistic culture, and critical thinking and education is important. I really feel for our scholars. It's a payday in literally 24 to 48 hours from now. I want scholars to be careful. Do not get scammed trying to P2P trade your SLP and cash out. I'm wondering now if it's almost best to hold back claiming until the bridge is reopened, if it ever is. If not, the SLP is kind of worthless anyway. But I also struggle with what about those that need the money on the first, no matter how small an amount it is, to live, to put food on the table, to keep the roof over their heads, to keep children able to go to school. I'm aware of that, and it's an issue. It's a very tough situation for everyone. Not only do I make Axie content, but I have friends and family that have invested in Axie Infinity and follow in my path, and this is why I'm so passionate and critical of what we're building here. I hope for all our sakes we can get this resolved in a timely manner. We can put this behind us and laugh one day. For now, it's very tough. It's an evolving situation, and I'm sure I'm going to be making a lot more videos explaining what's happening in the days to come. For now, please give the video a comment down below, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for your time.